Hello, Village. Welcome to another episode of 20 Yvette Speaks. This is your host, 20 Yvette, and for the next few minutes, we are going to be talking about Tamar Braxton. We've got her season premiere of documentary Get Your Life and an update in her legal battles to see who is in the right and who's in the wrong. So let's get started. Tamar Braxton was paranoid and felt like the world was against her when she attempted suicide in July, she said on the premiere of her new show on Thursday. In the first few minutes of Tamar Braxton Get Your Life, a new documentary series on We, the 43-year-old singer revealed that the extent of her stress. I lost everything, she said, looking somber. I lost my identity. I lost my home. I lost my husband. I lost my career. I lost everything that was positive in my life. I felt like everyone was against me. I had my family speaking out about things that weren't necessarily the whole truth. I lost my mind. I didn't want to leave my house. I was paranoid. I didn't know who to trust. The only thing I had was my health and my strength and my kid. In July, Tamar was found unresponsive in a hotel room and was subsequently hospitalized. She later wrote on Instagram that she'd experienced great pain during her time in the entertainment industry and felt betrayed, taken advantage of, and overworked and underpaid. In the wake of that revelation, many of the people starring on the We show seemed worried about Tamar's participation in it, and it had already been pushed back after her attempt. Suicide Prevention Line. This is a lifeline for national suicide prevention that was placed on several articles, including dailymail.co.uk. The lifeline is 1 800 273 8522. It provides people in distress or those around them with 24-hour support. If you don't want to call, you can text to the crisis text line at 741-741. Text HOME, HOME, to 741-741. Everything is confidential and you won't speak to anyone except for the counselor that is given to you at the time of your text or your call. Once again, that prevention lifeline is 1 800 273 8255. And to text, you will text HOME, HOME, to 741-741. Moving on with the article, she had promised them that she would film for 6 weeks, but apparently there was a different story if you watched the debut, often ducking out of rooms and scenes and walking off the set just to protect herself. Viewers also got a look at her boyfriend of 2 years, David Adefeso, who earlier this week claimed she attacked him while he was driving and filed a restraining order against her. Sources close to Tamar have claimed in news reports that David actually threatened to kill her and that she only reached out to put her hand on him after fearing for her life. Okay? So now we see what's really going on. Tamar has witnesses to back up her claim, and David is saying that she was the aggressor. So we're going to see, you know, as the show unfolds, when we get it closer to the end of the show, who was really the aggressor. Ironically, in a dream she had during the premiere, Tamar actually envisions being in a car driven by another man, from which she jumps from the car to save herself as it crashes down a hill. The R&B superstar said throughout the episode that she felt like she was truly alone at the moment and seemed insecure about asking for help from others. This is just about Tamar solely, without an agent, without a manager, she explained at the show. I don't have a record label and I don't have a husband. So we're getting to see what really is going on in Tamar's life and why the mental breakdown, what was going on in her life at the time. Many articles have talked about this, and Some of them favor David Adefeso, where others favor Tamar. In an article on blackamericaweb.com, it says that Tamar's boyfriend Adefeso is speaking out. The two have been in the headlines over Tamar's recent alleged suicide attempt, and recently Adefeso issued a domestic violence restraining order on Tamar. Since the news broke about the restraining order, the singer shared she reportedly shared that David was actually the aggressor and threatened to kill them both, which is the first article I saw. It was supposed to be a murder-suicide, according to Love B. Scott. The Shade Room shared a video of Adefesto, and in there he claims that he never touched Tamar and says that he was attacked. So I'm going to put those links so you can see everything for yourself. I'm sorry that I can't play the video, but I don't want to get a copyright strike from YouTube, but I will definitely put the links so that you can see everything for yourself. So far, that is what we know. And I've got a little information on David because a lot of people don't know where this man came from, how he got into Tamar's life. And so I pulled up who is Tamar Braxton's boyfriend on Showbiz cheat sheet, and I also have a report from thuglifememe.com, and they both have a little information on this man. So moving on down in the article, because I don't want to reiterate what I've already said, Adefeso supports Braxton as she films her reality series and performs across the country. Though the spotlight is new to him, he's had his own successful career. Braxton has publicly stated that Adefeso is self-made and considers herself a lucky woman now that she's snagged the businessman. The article goes on to talk about her relationship with Vincent, and how they both began her career, which if you've seen Braxton's Family Values, you would know that how that all came about. It was funny at first, but then when we saw, oh my goodness, they're having trouble in the marriage, that's what gave me a red flag that something else was going on besides just that. And she did state in the show how being married to someone who's also your manager can put a strain on your marriage. And I completely understand that. Another thing that I have seen with reality shows is that a lot of people will go on reality shows and they are married, happily married, and before, the season ends or the second season or what have you, they're going for a full-on divorce. So I'm not sure if, that's the same thing with Vincent. He wasn't, really comfortable being in the spotlight. He always worked behind the scenes. And so we've never seen David Adefeso in anything. And let me just say for the record, me, myself, just speaking for myself, I love Nollywood movies, and I've never heard of David Adefeso a day in my life. So who is David Adefeso? Fans wonder who the new man was in Braxton's life. Though Braxton kept Adefeso's identity and face a secret for a few months, the tabloids revealed that she was dating a Nigerian-born businessman. So Braxton first posted photos and videos of her and Adefeso on a tropical vacation. They later showcased their love on the red carpet for the season 6 premiere of Braxton Family Values. Adefeso began appearing on the show, and it also confirmed that he'd appear in the upcoming spinoff, Tamar, Get Your Life. So moving on to the next article, just to give you some facts about him, it says that David Adefeso may be a Nigerian-born businessman based within the U.S. He's popular for being the boyfriend of Tamar, as we know. She may be a founding member of the R&B singing group formed together with her sisters, and we know all that. David's age is approximately 35 to 55 years of age, so I guess he keeps that a little confidential. He was born within the United States. However, the precise date of birth of Tamar Braxton's partner isn't known yet to the general public. As such, it's difficult to determine his actual age or when he celebrates his birthday. Nevertheless, we are keeping tabs and can update you once this information becomes available. The net worth is estimated to be around $1 to $50 million. He has not revealed his actual net worth, and nobody knows what he really does. He's an easy person and never likes to draw in public attention by publicity displaying his wealth. However, this section is under review and will update you with details about his net worth as it is revealed. So, giving into consideration these last two articles, it seems that he's very secretive. He doesn't like the spotlight. This is the part where I really get into my commentary. I'm going to tell you guys how I feel after watching this show. I feel like he may be a little bit of an opportunist. I feel like he's very controlling. There was a time in the show where Tamar worked with a dream therapist. She's like a life coach, but she's also, she has a degree in working with a lot of celebrities, talking about how they interpret dreams. And if you can't, determine what that dream means for yourself, then, she can help you because she has education in that. And so they set her up with Tamar, and she goes around with Tamar, and Tamar talks to her. If she gets upset, this lady can calm her down. I mean, it was really, a sight to see that Tamar had some help, because normally on Family Braxton Values, Tamar would just spiral out of control. And with this lady, she was more calm. She was more, content. She did get upset. She didn't want to cry on camera, or make too big of, a thing. But, it's just my opinion, you guys. You guys know, I always have an opinion, especially when I start to do my commentary. But because this guy is so secretive, and because he seems so controlling on the show, um, it doesn't look like a good look on paper, on film. Him being so quiet when he first came on, the family Braxton Family Values. He seemed like he was okay. He was put together. I just don't know about this guy, and we don't know enough about him, to even form an opinion, except for what we saw on the first episode of Get Your Life. I can understand why Tamar, felt the way she did, here being in, the trenches with this man for real. After the show stopped filming is when she said, things really escalated to the point where, she was just, I can't even give you a word for it, but I know how she feels because I've been in an abusive relationship. And you think that everything is okay. You think it's all right. And it's weird for me to say about this, you guys, because they've already been living together. So what all of a sudden, after you're thrusted in the limelight with Tamar, what happened that you just went off the deep end? Now, for me, I feel like this is just me watching them on the Braxton show and now watching him on Tamar's show. I feel like because he didn't have control over everything, he was trying to tell the camera people what to do. He was telling, the therapist that, well, you'll see. I don't want to give it away, especially if you haven't seen it, but let's just say he wasn't happy with the therapist. And later on down the line, we're going to see some of those clips come into, fruition and manifest. And you'll really be able to see him acting out on the show, because he wants control of Tamar's life. Even with his son, Tamar's son came in to give his mommy a hug because it was time for him to go to bed. And, David was like, what about me? Do I not get a hug too? And so the boy turned around to hug him, and David was like, what is that? And I'm like, really? Now, we all know that this young man, is old enough to determine whether he wants to give somebody a hug or not. And he was more concerned with hugging and kissing on his mommy, That somebody that's you're not even a stepdad at this point. You just kind of live with Tamar, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say he's mooching off of her, but he is getting some camera time. He's getting some spotlight, and I feel like for somebody who doesn't want to be thrusted into, Hollywood, and you don't want to be thrusted into fame, you're soaking it up. Let me just be blunt. You're soaking it up, okay? You're really, really reaching for some stars, because if you didn't want to be thrusted into the limelight, you didn't have to be on the show at all. You could have simply said, keep me anonymous. I don't want anybody to know who I am. This is not for me. I feel like he thought, okay, you know what? Let me get some, credibility for Tamar's new demeanor, for the way she acts now, because she's calmer and whatever. And I feel like, again, this is just my commentary and my belief, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like that because Tamar is who she is, and she does not like to be manhandled at all, um, she decided, I just need to be myself. And during this show, that's what you're going to get. And I feel like that's a huge part of why he's so upset. But we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm definitely going to keep up on this story. It's very interesting. I will say this: Tamar, Get Your Life is not what I expected at all. I saw a completely different Tamar, being in her early 40s. It's almost like she's gravitating towards, coming into her own. And I did make mention, the last time I talked about Tamar, that it was time for this to happen. And now I'm hoping and I'm praying that we see this come into manifestation, that she takes care of what she needs to take care of in her life, so that, she can come into being, the real Tamar. Because there's a lot of things, and we all have been through things. If you agree with me, don't tell your business in the comments below, but just holler at me and be like, yeah, girl, I understand what you're talking about. I can relate, because I've been through things too. Everybody goes through something that they want to keep private, and that's totally understandable. And that's why it's really important to look at contracts and see exactly what's going on when you get in the business, because you may be signing your name to something that you really don't mean. And I feel like she was really trying to connect with Mona on this, because Mona now is her music manager, but Mona also is the executive, producer of this show. And so we all know Mona. She's like a miniature Oprah. Everything she touches, turns to, gold, because there's not anybody that she's been in contact with that doesn't, have some change. They got something to jingle in the pocket. They got a spinoff show. They got a record contract. They got, promotion. They, hit the runway. They got other television, spots. Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you don't take advantage of what Mona has for you, then you're an idiot. And so I think she made a really good choice in that, because Mona does know all about the business. But I feel like, from what I saw on this first debut episode, you guys, I feel like Tamar just really doesn't want to share everything. And my personal opinion is, I don't blame you, because you don't have to share everything. But again, we don't know what's in that contract, do we? So she may have signed away, a few rights, saying that, guess what? You have to share all of this, because you promised. That's what your promise was to Mona at the beginning of the show, and that's what you signed when you signed that contract. So I can't wait to get in deeper of this, and, see what's going on. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, because y'all give the best comments. Like, I just love my village. Y'all, if you are not subscribed, y'all need to hit that subscribe button, because you will meet some wonderful, amazing people here in the village. Join the family by hitting that subscribe button, you guys. I have got another story coming up about a pastor that kind of went crazy at his wife's job. So if you want to hear about that, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when this story comes out. But I was given that story from one of my subscribers, and I studied on it for a couple of hours today, trying to find as much information as I can. And you are really going to be astonished when you hear about this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging with me and listening to me and talking with me, because I love you guys so much. We have so much fun, and you guys are just smart and insightful. And I love that about my village. Let's keep it drama free. All right. But I am going to talk to you guys in another video. So until then, bye for now.